name is Susi Hately and I'm the founder of Functional Synergy Therapeutic Yoga, and this is a conversation about strengthening on top of tension. Now you might be someone who has experienced pain, or you have a student who has pain, or a friend who has pain. And inevitably along your journey, someone has told you or your friend or your student that in order to get out of pain, they just need to get active. And I understand where that comes from, because through the 80s and the 90s, it was a very, very commonly held belief in the rehabilitation world that you just need to get active. And it was actually called active rehabilitation. And there's still some therapists and some trainers who still follow that because it actually works for some people. However, for a lot of people, it doesn't. Well, why? Well, because we have these unresolved movement patterns when we're experiencing pain or when we have injury. So now if we add being active, we're starting to add a layer of strength over top of it, but these never get resolved. This is a poor foundation, and the poor foundation needs some kind of gripping or other type of compensation to help support it in some way. So while the strength may look all pretty up here, this is still unresolved. It's like a house of cards, really. So life has a way of throwing us curveballs. And if you've got a house of cards which gets knocked by a ball, chances are that's going to all tumble to the ground. And you're going to experience the pain that you remembered so vividly. And you actually might know of people, or you might be one of these people that experiences pain cyclically with stress. Well, what I'm here to tell you is that you don't actually have to have that experience, and that you can have something different than this grippiness and tension, and you can have really sustainable strength in your body and resolve those movement patterns. So how do you go about doing it? Well, the first thing you have to determine is where you're currently at now. You need to know how your movement patterns are, and you need to become aware of your movement patterns. For example, when you do a movement, are you doing that movement purely, or is there extraneous gripping and tension going on in your body? Because if you're utilizing other extraneous movements as compensations to make the actual movement happen, the one that you want to have happen, then you're creating layers of grip and tension through your body. And the more you can get familiar with what those patterns are, then the more that you can dismantle those, but also create better, new, and improved patterns that are more pure, that are smoother, and that provide you with a lot more stability, strength, and ease. So let's take a look at an example. Let's say you're in the gym and you're doing bicep curls. So the movement is flexion of the elbows with weight. The purpose is to strengthen your biceps. Now, if you have ever been to a gym and you've looked at people doing bicep curls, chances are that very, very few of them are moving purely here. Rather, they're using all sorts of extra movements and tension to make that movement happen. You see it in their face, you see it in the veins popping out of their head, you see it in their through their face, you see it in their gripping of their breath, their toes are clenching, their butts are clenching, their bellies are clenching, and they're also now moving through their back. And then they wonder why their biceps aren't getting stronger. Because they're using all sorts of extra energy elsewhere in their body. Let's look at another example. Let's say we're just bringing that arm over the head. Well, to bring the arm over the head, there's a combination of your clavicle, your arm bone, and your shoulder blade, and they all need to work together. Now, that's what's supposed to happen. But when you do the movement, or when your student does the movement, does the rib cage move? Do they clench their butt? Do they clench their jaw? Do they use extraneous movements or extraneous gripping in order to make that movement happen? In the yoga world, we often make a joke of, are you using your jaw to lift your foot? Or are you using your jaw to lift your arm? Like, why is your jaw involved in something that it doesn't have to be involved in? So a common phrase I will share with my students is the following. I want you to only move your body in the movement that it needs to be doing. Or if you're doing, if you're only moving the leg bone in your hip socket, say for tree pose, for example, only move the leg bone in your hip socket. Don't get your chin involved, don't get your head involved, don't get your shoulder girdle involved. Do only that which you need to do and nothing more. Do only that which you need to do and nothing more. Do not expend any more energy than you need to expend and nothing more. Now, you might be asking a question that I often get, and that is, well, if you follow this notion of ease, of expending all that you need to expend and nothing more, of doing only that which you need to do and nothing more, how on earth do you ever improve? Because the notion is in order to improve, you got to push through something. Well, I'm here to tell you that pushing through something is akin to forcing something. And with force comes resistance, and with resistance comes grip. And over and over again, in my clinical studio-based experience, I've seen over and over again that people who follow the notion of ease and build strength on top of ease and keep the concept of ease in mind, only doing what they need to do and nothing more, they keep getting stronger, they keep getting stronger, they keep experiencing more complex movements, they're able to do more complex yoga asanas, and their world of function really starts to expand. The things that they're able to do, the activities that they're able to do, it just starts coming back to them with a lot of ease. They don't have to force the skiing, they don't have to force the hiking, they don't have to force any other movement that they want to be doing. So what I want you to consider over the next bit of time, if you're into it, is when you're on your yoga mat, really consider, okay, with this particular movement, what needs to be happening? What are the primary pieces to actually making this movement occur? And then only do those movements. Keep your breath really easy and natural. Keep your eyes soft. Keep your jaw relaxed. Keep your toes relaxed. Keep your breath at ease. Keep your butt relaxed. And do only that which you need to do and nothing more. And then you'll start to experience more in this paradigm of strengthening on top of ease rather than strengthening on top of tension and creating this mess of a house of cards which will get blown off in the wind of life eventually. So have fun exploring with that. Add a comment below and we'll be back with another clip.